Hey guys, Sonickmonx here, and I know this is a bit unexpected. I should probably get this ugly thing out of here. But I was watching some betting gods, and I decided, you know what? Why don't I get into CS:GO betting? So this is the first game I bet on. Sorry, my brother's going crazy in the background. And I just put the only really skin I had, because for some reason you can't put any keys in here, which sucks. I'm gonna try to build an inventory off of my like 10 cents of skins. I'm probably just gonna end up trading some keys because I have 20 keys for other skins to bet. But I put this in. I put it on later kids. So I might start doing betting analysis too because I've been predicting a lot of upsets. So as you can see, they're in the middle of a best of 3 right now. My goodness, my brother. And WooSah won the first map. I didn't see the first map. I tuned in the second map when it was like 6-1 for WooSah. I'm like, well, there goes my Nova. And the only reason I chose later kids was because I had watched the game. Where is it? Later Kids versus Levitate, and I'd watched the Levitate versus who did they play? I can't think of who they played, but they played someone. I think it was maybe Kaz or something. I don't remember. It was yesterday. But they played someone and they had a really low chance and they upset, and then they played someone else and I think they upset. And so I'm like, no, there's no way that Levitate's going to lose. And Later Kids crushed them, I think, on one of their maps. It might have been Dust 2, which is Later Kids' best map and map pick. And Later Kids was losing 6-1 on Dust 2, and they brought it back and won 16-9, I believe. And it was an amazing game, or an amazing match. I also bet on Mortality versus AOth. I don't know what that stands for, so don't get on me for that. Because just a couple days ago, it was 50-50, and AOth beat Mortality, so I figured, you know what, they'll probably beat Mortality again. I don't know any of these teams, but that's why I'm only doing like 5 cents. But I figured, you know, AOS could beat them and taking advantage of the odds. Don't know anything about the countries, so I'm obviously not going to do anything on that. Don't know anything about this. I have predicted 2 upsets by Peter so far, so I'm starting to like Peter. The last time Peter played, they got upset. I don't remember who it was by. You know what? That might have been Levitate. Yeah, it was Levitate versus Peter. I think I tuned in towards the end of that. It was a map on train, and Levitate won that, I believe, which is why I started liking Levitate. Rockcat, don't bet on Rockcat. They lost to someone that they were not even supposed to be close. I think it was Peter beat them like 25% on Peter. And so then Kaz was coming up, and I said if I was able to trade, which I couldn't because I had a trade ban because I changed my password, blah, blah, blah. I predicted, you know what, Kaz is going to beat Rockcat because Rockcat got upset by Peter. I know that makes no sense, but Kaz beat him 30-70 chance, and now we can see the odds are backwards now after Kaz beat him that time. So I don't trust Rockcat. I'm starting to kind of like Kaz and Peter and Levitate. I know it's kind of random. I figured Dignitas would beat Hellraisers. I didn't know these 2 teams. Figured SKDC should definitely beat Lunatic. Figured Hellraisers should beat G2. I saw a tiny bit of upset potential, possibly, but not much. And I didn't really know about this game, so I might start doing betting analysis based off of my own experience. So you probably shouldn't follow them because they have no previous backup or they have nothing really given. They have no thought put into them. I mean, they have no research done. There you go. I didn't go to any websites and really look it up. I can see a small chance for an upset of Property versus Hellraisers. You know, maybe I'll put, if I win one of these bets, like 10 cents on Property, something like that. Peter, I think, should beat Phenomenon. Phenomenon hasn't been doing so great. Once again, don't know these teams. I know DNG won their other game. I don't know who that was against. But yeah, I'm waiting to see the 3rd map of Inferno of WooSah versus Later Kids. And see how good, you know, see if Later Kids can pull it through. So, thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you think. And if you think I should start doing betting analysis, then please let me know. Sonickmonx out. Okay, so it turns out that, I had to start it that way because last time I pressed F8 to unpause it and it messed up. So I apologize for my brother, I apologize for the random cutoff and all that crap, but I wanted to tell y'all what happened. So I watched, here, let me see who's bet on Lunatic and WooSah and Enemy and Venom. Okay. Okay, so, I watched this game to the end, and I watched that game to the end from the second map and from the second map. So, let's start with WooSah versus Later Kids. Later Kids, as I said, beat WooSah on Dust 2. They were losing, they came back, and because one of their players on the last round, which would have taken them into overtime because it was 14-15, WooSah, for some reason he didn't push up, and by the time he decided to push up, the bomb had already been defused, so he didn't even die trying to end the last round. So commentators were saying how he probably felt terrible about that. Um, Very close. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on Later Kids because they seem to be pretty top of their bracket, because I think this is a bracket here, or maybe WooSah versus Lunatic is the top of the bracket. Um, and Mortality versus Astral Authority. Oh my gosh, this game was amazing to watch. Mortality, it was 11-4 on cash in favor of them after CT side. Astral Authority brought it back and won like 16-13, completely dominating on the counter-terrorist side. Then they went to train. Mortality got the counter-terrorist side. Astral Authority got 4 on terrorists. If they had gotten 5, it would have definitely secured the victory. And they were losing 14-4. And one of the commentators saying, I could see an upset when they got 3 rounds in a row, and the other commentators like, I don't see it coming. It's way too early to speculate, and I just don't see it coming. And lo and behold, Astral Authority brought it all the way back, and they got a 15-15 first overtime. Both teams got um, two rounds on terrorist side in the first overtime, and then Mortality just got 2, and Astral Authority got 1, and ended up on the last round of the second overtime. Mortality won 22-20. It was a great game. Fortunately, Astral Authority has to drop back into the majors, and Mortality gets to move on to the pros. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for Astral Authority, because watching them play, I can see them being an amazing team in the upcoming years, and I can't wait for the next year's SIVO event to see what's going to happen. Astral Authority possibly moving into the pros. Looking at these games, like I said earlier, I don't know anything about the countries, so I'm not going to say anything about the countries, not going to bet on the countries, nothing like that. EB versus Epiphany, never heard of them. Peter versus Phenomenon, Phenomenon hasn't been playing so great. Peter's been doing a lot of upsets, but Peter has been upset. I know I'm just reinstating what I already said. Peter, I think, should definitely run away with the win here. Evolution versus DNG. I know DNG beats someone. I think it might have been an upset. I don't remember. But I don't really know them, so I don't really trust them. Earlier in the video is Rockat 30-70, and now Kaz is actually the underdog for some reason. I definitely expect Rockat to not win and Kaz to run away with this. Like, Kaz already beat Rockat, Peter beat Rockat, and the odds were terrible. Or the odds were way in the favor of Rockat, and I just don't trust Rockat. I mean, never really heard of him before until now, but I just don't trust him. I see Small Potential and Property versus Hellraisers. Never heard of Infinity G. I know I've probably seen them somewhere, but I wouldn't trust them. Personally, seeing Lunatic, they lost to SKDC, 70-30, as you saw in the last video. But I really think, even though WooSah, I've never really heard of WooSah, seem to be a new team. I think that they could run away, not run away, but I think that they could get a win on Lunatic here. Best of 5. WooSah showed some really great potential from fighting, come on, Later Kids. They really showed that they've kind of got what it takes. They've got the strats and the executes and the aim, and I could expect to see a win from WooSah here. And Enemy versus Venom, I don't know why, but I think Venom could win this. I watched one of Enemy's games, don't remember which one it was, and I'm pretty sure they won. They might have gotten upset, I don't really remember. But Venom beat Ace Gaming with a 17% chance. I know that's like nothing to base off of, but I know Ace Gaming isn't really, like it's not a terrible team. So I figure that if Venom could beat them, I mean, I have no clue what skill level enemy is on, but I think Venom might be able to win this. So I wouldn't take anything off of my suggestions. I'm just gonna keep placing now that I lost my skins, because for betting, you can't put. I know I said any keys, but it says I don't. Here, let me initiate the backpack load and just give me a second. Come on, inventory. Don't do this to me. Why you do this? Okay. Basically, what I'm trying to show is that when this pops up, there'll be nothing, since you can't place cases, and you can only place the original CSGO keys, which is kind of stupid to me. But I'm probably going to trade my keys for some low skins, like worth $1 and stuff like that, and start doing bets like that, build up a little bit of an inventory, get to know the teams, and go from there. Um, so, wow, Rockcat really jumped there in their percentage. I might even try to find a way to get something on Kaz. But, I appreciate the views, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you stayed till this long, that's amazing. I really appreciate it. So please let me know in the comments below. Sonickmonx out. Peace.